Hey guys, it's Vadim with Max Tech, and you might not know this, but I've been building my own custom home for the past 8 months, which has been extremely busy, but we're now reaching the final stages. Here's a sneak peek of my living room, my kitchen, my entrance. Everything is finally coming together. I have only about 1 month left, and the exciting thing is I finally have Wi-Fi hooked up, which means I can install my security camera system so I can monitor everything that's happening in the front and the backyard, which is perfect for today's sponsor, Eufy, and their brand new PoE NVR Security System S4 Max. And this is actually the world's first NVR security system with local AI agent, which, what does that mean? Well, it's essentially an all-in-one security system with 2 terabytes of local storage included. You can easily upgrade it to 16 terabytes of storage, which means no monthly subscription and 24/7 recording. And the best part is that it actually has on-device AI features, which I have been testing, and it is mind-blowingly good, which I'll show you in this video. But what I want to get back to is, what is PoE and what does it mean? Well, it's essentially power over Ethernet, which means everything goes through one cable. That means your data connection and the power, one cable, that's it. Now, months ago, while I was in the framing stage, I wired up a ton of Cat5e Ethernet cables, which I have 19 cables in total, which we were wiring throughout the house, and 3 of them for security cameras, which I wired all the way up into my soffits on 3 corners of my house. And based on my usage of these cameras over the past week, I am genuinely shocked at how good this security system is. Hands down, the best that I've ever seen for multiple reasons that I'm gonna go through in this video. But first, I wanna show you guys how easy the installation was. First of all, in the box, it comes with 4 bundles of Ethernet cables, but of course, I already had my whole system pre-wired, so I didn't really need them. But in the box, you'll see you have these little template stickers. So essentially, you just stick that up where you're gonna be mounting it, then you screw in the mounting bracket. After that, you slide in the camera, then you fasten the screws, and then you hook up the included weatherproof adapter, which fully seals it in, make sure no water gets in there, and bam, that's all you have to do on the camera side. And here you can see all 3 corners of the house that I have wired up with the cameras, and they look absolutely awesome. These have 360-degree coverage with cross-camera tracking, which I'll show you how that works in just a minute. Now, for the NVR system install, all I had to do was plug it into power, connect a LAN cable from my router for that hardwired internet connection, then plug in each PoE cable, and that's it. Each camera instantly started up. Each one is actually a 2-in-1 with 3 different 16 megapixel 4K video cameras in total, which basically makes it 12 total cameras in this system, which is crazy. And with each of them, you have this static wide angle camera that always points in the general direction you want it to stay, which is great because you have the separate section, which is the PTZ camera, which is basically pan, tilt, and zoom. So it spins around 360 degrees. It has up to 70 degrees of tilt, and it can zoom, which is crazy because each one has 2 cameras on the turret itself. It has a 1x camera and then a 3x optical zoom, which is incredible because you can zoom up to 8 times with optical and digital for insanely clear zoom video for things that are far away. And it actually has automatic motion tracking, so when it sees somebody, it'll start zooming in and tracking their movement in real time, which is really cool. Even if they try to hide underneath the camera, it'll actually start tilting towards them, so you can't really hide from it. And the cool thing is that the fixed camera continues to provide full coverage while the PTZ camera is motion tracking, so nobody can kind of sneak around. And now with that said, let me jump into the app to show you what you will experience if you end up checking this out and purchasing for yourself. By the way, link down below. Here's the home screen. You can see I'm on home and I have my cameras right here. Now you can tap into multi-view, which shows you the real time. Look at how fast that loaded. That's because these are all wired PoE. You can see right here I have multi-view set up. There's my front corner, 2 cameras. Then I have my front garage. Then swipe over and I have my movable one in the front, and then here is my backyard, which is set differently. Now if I tap into one of them just like this, you can see that the audio actually just turned on, and you could swipe like this to essentially spin them around. Not only that, I can hit the 3x lens and bam, look at how that quality just improved. And right here at the bottom, you can start recording. So if you see anything happening, you can take a screenshot, you can hit record. There's also pan and tilt, which makes it a little bit easier. Now the cool thing is you also have this little talk button. So if I tap it, I'll be able to use my microphone to literally talk to anybody that's outside. And here you have the playback feature, which I'm gonna take a look at the playback of the movable camera. And this is essentially how you have access to 24/7 recording. Each little blip right here that you see in orange is an event that happened. But now it could actually go back to any time. You could see there is something going on here. Let's see what it found. Looks like it saw the neighbor and her dog. And watch, I can go all the way back, 4:30 a.m., 3:40 a.m. You can see as it's getting darker. And here you can see 1:58 a.m. This is true real-time 24/7 recording all the way back to 12 a.m., which of course I can click on the calendar and go back a day to the 14th. This is me right here. The cool thing is it does automatic motion tracking with zoom. Look at that, it is tracking me as I walk over to my truck in real time, motion tracking with zoom, which is just incredible. And at any point you can hit download, you can share, you can delete, or you can click record, so everything that you see on your screen as you're going back will be recorded. You can see actually it just got a pop-up notification, somebody was spotted right there, right now as I'm filming this, which is really, really cool. Now I'm gonna go back and I wanna show you guys these settings because there's so many cool things here. First of all, I wanna go into the pan tilt settings where we have auto cruise turned on. And here, let's go through my presets. Now on this camera, I have my default right here. Then I can switch over to the second preset, which you'll see in real time. It's gonna move over there to the left. Then I have my third, which essentially just goes down to see what's going on here. Then I have my fourth preset, which gets the right side of the street right there. Fifth, it actually switches to the 3x telephoto camera to zoom in on that area in the street. Sixth one actually goes back here to the side of my house to make sure nobody's sneaking around there. And then for 7, I have it set to 3x all the way across the street with a nice zoomed in view. The cool thing is that it'll automatically cycle through those like a real security cam that you see moving around in the movies. And I have it set to a schedule which at 7 p.m. it starts auto cruising until 8 in the morning to basically cover that night time all throughout the week, and the interval is every 10 seconds it switches presets. And now for the motion detection settings, let's go into there. I actually have it set to follow the global settings, but the cool thing is that every single preset, as you can see right here, has its own custom area for AI detection. So the fixed lens, you can see I set it like that. For movable, I can switch over to that, and I can go through my presets. So here's the first one, I have that box set up. For the second one, I set it only to my property. Here is number 3, which you can see I set it to my property right there. Then number 4, I have it set to take my whole driveway and yard. Number 5, this is a, I believe, zoom shot, which you can see. I customized the tracking, which is so cool to do this between all of them. Going all the way back, you can see I have it tracking this whole area. And finally, for the last one, you can see I set it to track in this area just to see if anybody's snooping around that shop, make sure nobody is trying to steal anything. In the video settings, you can see I have it set to 24/7 continuous. You can always switch it to event-based. My quality is set to 4K plus 2K. I have self-adapting bit rates for both of them. Recording time, I have it set to all the time, or you can even schedule it to record at night. You have your event recording settings, which you can customize. Your night vision, you have 3 different settings. You have street light with street light IR, then you have spotlights that you can use and infrared that you can swap between them, but I'm just using street light. And as you can see right here, the camera is cycling through the different presets and the quality is still really good without using the actual spotlight, which it also has. But as you can see, the quality is really nice. And even when you're going to the 3X lens, it still looks really, really nice. You also have your audio settings, so you can go in, you can turn on your microphone, audio recording, speaker, which you can use to talk to people through there. You can adjust your notifications, which I've set it to include the thumbnail every time. And of course, you can also share the device and invite family members to download the eufy app, make an account, and be able to view your cameras. Now, the cool thing here is you have this security report, which it found a couple of different things. Like we have some insights. It saw visitors, me, I was there because I registered my face so far, just my face, and it has 2 instances of cross-camera tracking, which is really cool. It essentially stitches 2 different camera angles together. And the main point is that when somebody gets out of the frame of the camera that's currently tracking them, the camera on the other side of the house will lock on and kind of hold that focus on that person until they go back into the frame of the original. So they kind of tag team to make sure that that person doesn't escape the view. And then here you have the summary, so you can see all the events that happened today. So we had 9 vehicle events, 65 human events, 3 pet events. You have this timeline here. And perhaps the most impressive AI feature is the search tool. So now if I type something in, like let's say dog, it is now gonna show me this month all of the instances of dogs that showed up. So you see pet, human vehicle, human pet, human pet. That is just so cool. Now let's type something else in. Lawnmower. Let's see if it saw a lawnmower. Look at that. You're getting little thumbnails of my neighbor who was mowing the other neighbor's lawn. It was able to see him and track him and recognize that. How about this? My friend recently came over and he drives an Audi. So let's type in Audi car. Look at that. You're getting thumbnails. There he is backing up in his Audi wagon. Even better, let's hit FedEx and see every time there was a delivery. Look at that, there you go. Check it out. UPS just drove by. And you also have a bunch of smart filters so you can match with confidence and all of these different filters. I forgot to show this, but there's also this alarm that you can turn on, which you can turn on the camera alarm and the light, which I have the light disabled, but you can have it trigger a 30-second alarm at any moment, which will have red and blue and white lights, which will scare people away. Switch to events. Here for each day, it has every single event that was visible throughout the entire day, which is so nice to go back and take a look. It's awesome that it has all of this saved. Now in services, you have your face management and AI learning. So I have my cross-tracking turned on. I've already registered my face, but you can continue to add more. And the cool thing is, earlier today I stopped by the house and it actually gave me a notification that said Vadim was spotted. So it recognized my face in real time. There's also a bunch of automations and other things that you can set up as well. And the sound quality is actually really good. Take a look at this clip.
This is a mic test, just right here in my driveway. As you can see, the turret cam's following me around. Mic should be pretty decent, honestly. Does some pretty good noise reduction with all the wind going on.
I also want to show this right here. You can go into full screen on a camera, like let's say movable, and then you tap this button to go into widescreen just like this. You could record everything just as you'd be able to. So you basically just swipe over and you can zoom in on certain things. Like let's whip all the way back around, switch to my 3X lens. There you go. Take a look at that quality. Now I'm looking into my backyard. But out of everything with this system that is so impressive, especially these turret 360-degree cameras, the best part is the price, because I told my brother-in-law about the system, and based on everything I showed him and told him, his first guess was that the system would cost $5 grand because it's good enough to be used for a commercial business with all of those functionalities, and he was shocked when I told him that this system is only $1,300 for the entire thing with the NVR, everything included, subscription free, which is mind-blowingly good. That's such a good deal for something like this. So with that said, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you're interested in buying this for yourself, I'm gonna have links in the pinned comment and description below so you can check it out, and let me know the feature that you thought was the best in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.